My sister's maid of honor humiliated me in her speech. I 27F was a bridesmaid at my older sister's wedding last week. The wedding was beautiful, and everything seemed perfect until the reception. During the reception, the maid of honor, who has been my sister's best friend since childhood, gave her speech. It was emotional and all, but then she made a joke about how I was the family screw-up who finally managed to do something right by not messing up my bridesmaid duties. Everyone laughed, but I didn't find it funny. For context, I've had a rough few years. I struggled with my mental health and dropped out of college for a while. I've since gotten my life back on track, but it's still a sensitive topic for me. Hearing the joke in front of all our family and friends wasn't funny at all. My sister's best friend and I never really got along, but still I never expected something like this from her. Especially the day wasn't about me at all, then why bring me up in the speech? I tried to stay composed, but I felt the tears coming, so I quietly left the reception and went outside to collect myself. My sister followed me out and asked what was wrong. When I told her, she said it was just a joke and she meant nothing bad. I tried to go back inside, but I just couldn't, and I ended up leaving the wedding early. My parents understand why I was upset, but my sister is angry with me. I do feel terrible for leaving, but I also feel like I had the right to feel hurt and humiliated. Edit: I said nothing at the moment because I didn't want to cause a scene on my sister's special day. And I can't reason with her right now because she will just ask me if I haven't been taking my meds lately. That's what she does when she's angry with me, so I'm giving her some time to maybe realize how her best friend's joke was out of line. Edit: 2 Someone asked me if my sister's best friend and I argued before. Did I give her a reason to do this? My sister's best friend and I never went past hi. She told me before a few years ago that she in general doesn't feel comfortable around someone struggling mentally because in her head God only knows what they're capable of. Since she said this, to this day I just try to avoid her. Now for the comments. Commenter 1: Not the idiot. Mo was being a mean girl, her point was to be a bitch and she was. Her speech should have been about the couple who just got married. There was no reason to bring you into her speech at all, except to be mean. Mo should be ashamed of herself as she is the here. Your sister not seeing this and her words to you also make her an I'm sorry your sister was crappy to you, maybe show her this thread. Original poster: This is what I tried to tell my sister. I thought about it again, but I still can't seem to find a reason for her bringing me into her speech. Commenter 2: You're the idiot. I bet there's another side of this story. Original poster: Every story has another side. What am I supposed to do about that? Call my sister and ask her if her best friend up for posting about her side. You think I posted on Reddit for advice without putting myself out there? Then what's the point? Update: Hi. Thanks to everyone who took the time to comment on my post and gave their opinion advice without being too harsh. I apologize if my update is messy or confusing. I'll try to cover everything, but I don't know when to add context for clarification. If you think there's any missing info, some parts are confusing, let me know. The same day I posted, my dad called to check up on me and see if my sister and I had talked things out. When I told him no, he said it's better if we talk about it now and assured me that I have nothing to apologize for. If my sister thinks she has nothing to apologize for, then the least she can do is make her best friend apologize or fully realize that the joke was out of line. By the way, my brother and I met 4 days ago, and he told me that Bill, my sister's husband, didn't like the way the Mo called me a screw-up in front of everyone, and some of those who laughed voiced later that they did so out of nervousness. On Monday my sister called me to talk. When I made it to her place, her best friend was on the phone and didn't put it down for a second. My sister started by saying that just a few years ago I would have laughed hard and not taken the joke as an insult. I told her maybe some laughed because they don't know the reason she called me a screw-up. For context, when I was 16 something happened, and that's why I struggled mentally really badly between 16-18. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with PTSD and later with depression and anxiety. Since then, I don't like it when someone touches my head. Especially my hair and the back of my head neck. My sister knows everything. During our conversation my sister did most of the talking. At some point I felt like my sister had called me just to blame me again without trying to understand my perspective. When I tried to talk, she put her hand on the back of my neck and pulled me toward her with each sentence as if to say, "Do you understand?" Or "Okay?" I hated it and felt irritated. I honestly kept thinking, if I pushes her away, would I be in the wrong? Would they just call me mental and tell family I got physical? I tried to leave, but she insisted that no one was leaving until we sort this out. She told her best friend to just apologize. She refused and reminded my sister that I was the reason her husband got angry at her on their wedding day because I couldn't take a joke, and when I tried to explain why, I told her if she had focused her speech on the bridegroom then maybe he wouldn't have had a reason to be angry. She refused to listen and brushed my words off. She said, "Yeah, whatever." Sorry. I was glad it was finally over, and as I was about to leave, I heard her say can't take a joke that everyone knows is true. Both of them laughed, but my sister stopped mid-laugh and apologized. I didn't say anything and left. I think I've had enough. I mean, I know I've had a few rough years. I dropped out of college for a while, fine. But I've since gotten my life back on track. My parents helped me through it all and never made me feel like a burden. At first, I was on some strong meds that made me feel tired, sleepy most of the time. After a while I started to feel a little better with therapy and my family's support. During that period, it was me, my parents and my brother. My sister was 3 hours away for a job and used to visit sometimes and would often bring her best friend along with her. Looking back, I don't want to say she hates me, but I know she felt ashamed to have a family member struggling with mental health issues. I don't know how to explain this. I've made up my mind and decided to go to NC for now. If my parents and my brother who were there when I was going through it all never made me feel that they're ashamed of me, then why would she? I'm still on some meds but feels much better than before. I have a stable job, my own place and friends who loves me for who I am. I can say I'm proud of myself a little. I love my family to death and tried to maintain a relationship with my sister all these years, but I'm trying to improve myself, not constantly be reminded of what I was a few years ago. Now for the comments. Top commenter: for context. When I was 16 something happened and that's why I struggled mentally really badly between 16-18. When I was 17, I was diagnosed with PTSD and later with depression and anxiety. Since then, I don't like it when someone touches my head. Especially my hair and the back of my head neck. My sister knows everything. When I tried to talk, she put her hand on the back of my neck and pulled me toward her with each sentence as if to say, "Do you understand? Or okay? This is more than enough emo to just go no contact." She knows about the trauma you went through and blatantly weaponized it against you, and that's just disgusting and cruel. I'm sorry you had to deal with this op, and I'm glad you are at a point in life where you can enforce your boundaries and appreciate how far you've come. Future reference: if you ever decide to be around or communicate with your sister, I don't think you should be alone with her. You should be able to have a third party that also knows about your past trauma and boundaries there to act as witness and a mediator if she pulls that kind of shit again. Original poster: no, but I don't think I will be around her anytime soon. I'm still a little shaken by the fact that she knows everything and still grabbed me by the back of my neck to prove her point. Commenter: to not the idiot. Your sister has chosen her friend over you, she hasn't apologized, no one is taking accountability that should be. You need to go very LC or no contact with this sister. Your parents should be covering this and really championing you. Mo should be pariahed by the rest of your family. Original poster: I've decided to go to NC. I want to move on from what happened and everything she's said to me before. She's said a lot of hurtful things in the past, but the way she tried to shut me up by grabbing me by the back of my neck, I just can't get over it. She doesn't love respect me enough to not use that against me. Commenter 3: how would the Mo know that this happened to her? Original poster: she brought her best friend home when I was still covered in bruises. Of course, I didn't want to see anyone other than my family, but I was in no condition to voice my wants. I'm sure I left my room at least 2-3 times and she saw me. Besides, she brought her best friend along when it was better for me to not interact with anyone but family. I'm certain she told her everything. Commenter 4: I would tell your family exactly what transpired and send your new bill a link to these posts. You've overcome significant other much. Keep moving forward and cut the toxic out of your life. Best wishes and many, many blessings for your future happiness and success. Original poster: thank you. I'm going to see my parents tomorrow along with my brother. They will probably ask me how it went, and I will tell them exactly what happened.